This is the latest Apple TV 4K. This is the latest Fire TV Stick 4K Max. Should you spend the extra money to buy an Apple TV? I'm gonna share with you the differences and benefits of each. Hopefully that'll help you decide which one's the right one for you. Spoiler, most people should not buy this one if they just want to stream. You can save the money and go with the Fire TV Stick. In the description, you're gonna find 2 videos of mine. One is 10 tips for the Fire TV. The other one is for 10 tips for the Apple TV. Also down there, you're gonna find links to both of these devices. Now in this video, I'm gonna cover the hardware, the streaming services, available format, interface, and performance, some of the other features they have, and a big one for me is the ecosystem. These devices are starting to communicate more with other devices, so it's something to think about. Now, full disclosure, I've been an Apple TV person since before the Fire TV Sticks even came out. We had our first kid and downloaded a lot of Disney content, so we've been pretty committed to the Apple world. Now, do you own either of these devices? Let us know in the comment section. Now, first, let's talk about the hardware. You have the Apple TV 4K that is $179.99, and then you have the Fire TV Stick 4K Max that is $54.99. Now, is the Apple TV worth $125 more? Both of these devices support the latest Wi-Fi 6. They've also seen processor updates. The Apple TV has an A12 Bionic chip that first appeared in the iPhone XS and the iPhone XR. The reason for the upgrade is really to keep expanding on features, help with gaming performance. The Fire TV 4K Max also saw a processor update that makes it 40% faster. That too was to help with their gaming performance. And as Amazon says, to open up apps quicker, give a more fluid experience, and help with search when you're using voice. Really, it's not a big change. You're not gonna notice a huge difference from previous versions of the devices. It's just under the hood and to help with additional features in the future. Now, both devices can be paired with their respective smart speakers. The Apple TV can be paired with a single HomePod or a pair of them. I made a video on that down in the description. The Fire TV Stick can be paired with a single Echo or a pair of them. Also a video on that in the description. Check those out. A huge update for people who want to take advantage of those smart speakers connected to their device is the audio return channel. Up until now, you can only play the sound that came from the streaming device out of the speakers. So if you had a console plugged into your TV, you could only listen to that TV, that console sound out of the TV. Now, with this audio return channel, if your TV supports it, when you plug things into your TV, like in my house, I have an Xbox, and then I have the Fire TV Stick or the Chromecast, have those plugged in. Now the audio return channel will send that audio to my Apple TV, and that'll send it out to my HomePods. Really a big update if you have multiple devices and don't want to use an amp or receiver to switch between them. Both devices did see remote updates. The Apple TV now has an aluminum remote with more real buttons, so no more glass touchpad on top, no more rubber bumpers needed, so when the thing falls on the ground and chips because your kids accidentally drop it, you don't need that. Instead, you just have a nice heavy-duty remote that I found has held up well. After about 9 months of using it, you add some additional features. You got the power button on it. You have buttons you could use it to scroll through, to skim across and use the touch features, or just use the mechanical physical buttons on it. Now, the Fire TV Stick also saw an update with its remote. One of the things that's nice is having these 4 quick buttons here to get you to. Those are actually pretty much all the services we use. It takes you to those. Also on the remote is this TV button. This will take you to free TV. What's nice is that it'll launch into IMDb TV, which is free television anyone can enjoy. It's an Amazon company. Another one you can use is Pluto.tv, which has channels that are based on shows. More and more channels are being added from networks too, like news stations and stuff. So it's nice to see access to the content that people might not normally find. Now, big difference between these two is that the Apple TV serves as a HomeKit Hub. If you're going to start an Apple smart home, you do need to have a HomeKit Hub. That's there. Now you just start pairing up HomeKit devices. Also, this can serve as a Thread border router. And Thread is one of the newest standards coming out that allows devices to talk to each other and create a stronger, faster network. Thread devices respond really quick when it comes to lights and stuff. With other things like the Fire TV stick, you're probably going to need some other device that will serve as a Thread hub in order to be able to implement some of the features from your TV. Picture though, if you have to buy a separate hub or another Echo that supports Thread, that could cost you some money there. Now for streaming services, you get all the same stuff pretty much on these. There might be a few that you don't get, but all the major services you could get on each. That's why I say if you only want to watch Netflix or Prime Video, you're good with this. Next, both Amazon and Apple have subscription services, so you can get standalone AMC, Paramount Plus, Stars, and a bunch of other ones. What's nice about getting them is something like Paramount Plus. That's $9.99 a month. It is the commercial-free version, and it includes Showtime. So that right there is worth me getting that subscription on my Apple TV because Showtime alone can cost more than $9.99. These subscriptions are also great so you don't need some kind of live streaming services to access certain channels. Like with Hulu Live, I couldn't log in to be able to watch AMC, but I could sign up for AMC and still be able to enjoy the shows I want. Now, when it comes to those services, how do they look between the two? Personally, I don't really notice a big difference with it. I know there's compression and all that stuff when they're sending it out, so it's being stepped on in a way, and things look good on both. They both support 60 frames per second. The more frames, the clearer the image is. That's why when you watch football and it feels like you're right there, probably higher frames than you would get in something like a movie. Both support Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and Ultra HD 4K content. For sound, you get surround sound using Dolby Atmos or Dolby Digital. One thing to consider with the Apple TV 4K is that it uses the latest HDMI 2.1. Now, HDMI 2.1 can support high frame rates. So the new high frame rates, which could be like 120 frames per second, are going to increase the clarity on it even more. So it's just gonna look more vivid. Now, I haven't paid any attention to the movies or shows I'm watching to see if they support that higher frame rate. Nothing's jumped out on me. They both look good. Minimal differences, if anything. Next is the interface. This really comes down to preference and what you're used to. Right off the bat, I'll be real with you. I don't like the Amazon Fire TV stick interface. It is way better than the previous version, like way better than the previous version. But after using the Apple TVs for so long, I think it's cleaner. I think it's easier to get to the things I want and just has some features I like better. Like first with the Apple TV interface is you have this screen looking button. It takes you two places. It takes you between the app screen. So every app you have, you can put them in folders if you want. So right to your apps, or you press it again and it takes you to the TV app, where first thing you see is the Up Next section. That Up Next section alone is worth buying the Apple TVs. That Up Next section keeps track of all the shows you watch on supported services. Not every service works, unfortunately. Like YouTube TV doesn't work and Netflix doesn't work. But with supported services, it's going to keep track of your shows as you watch them. And when a new show pops up, it's going to go to the front of the carousel. That's how I know that Walking Dead Season 11 Part 2 has just started back up. With so many streaming services, it's easy to forget where shows are, when they ended, when they're starting back up. So it's always nice when it just drops it in the front of my carousel. Amazon and Google you'll really need something like this to organize not only content that you have watched, but the content as it comes back from these different services. Now, as for the Fire TV interface, it is way better, like I said before, but I still feel like it's kind of clunky and slower to navigate around. I don't need to see all my services in one spot in the same way they're doing it. And then the apps, it is cool. It's much better that you can hop to the apps that you want. I'm just used to just having a full app screen that I don't have to go anywhere. So it really is coming down to a preference thing. Now, the one thing I cannot stand about the Fire TV sticks is the banner ads. I don't want to know about 3 months of Kindle Unlimited or whatever the deal may be. I don't want to know about that on my streaming device. And I feel like those ads stuck in there, it's like, I don't like it. Now on Apple TVs, you're gonna see different content that's available, but it's just content that's there. And yeah, you'll see the offers for those subscriptions, but majority of what you're seeing, you can just click on and start to watch, and you don't have offers in the same way. Now, when it comes to performance, both of them just move around and navigate nicely. I feel like the Fire TV stick is slower, but I think most of that has to do with the interface. Performance-wise, I feel like I don't notice a huge difference from the previous. Be honest, I don't really notice any difference between the previous versions of them. Now let's talk about some of the additional services that are available that you can use with these devices. With the Apple TV, you can subscribe to Apple Fitness Plus. You can take your Apple Watch and sync it to the Apple TV so that your vitals, your statistics, all that stuff shows up on the TV itself as you're working out. And that information can sync with your Apple Health app. Another thing available is Apple Arcade. That's one of the reasons they needed to upgrade, is Apple Arcade keeps getting more and more games. That's $4.99 a month. It's not console gaming. It feels more like iOS gaming. Now, Amazon has a different type of gaming. They have their Luna gaming service that is a cloud-based gaming service. So this is more like console gaming. Now, Apple TV has one of my favorite features they introduced in the fall. It is Spatial audio, and that spatial audio allows you to take a pair of supported AirPods and connect them to the Apple TV. Once you do, you get to enjoy a virtual surround sound. This spatial audio gives you this full sound. It locks the sound to the screen, so you hear a voice. If you turn your head, the sound's still coming from the screen. It is super cool. I made a video. I'll put that down in the description. You gotta check it out. Next is the ecosystem. I think this is a big thing to consider. As our devices become more and more connected, to really get the most out of them, we should get the devices that work together the best. So if you use Echoes, then get a Fire TV, pair them up. Then you can use your voice to turn on your TV, to pause, to trigger scenes, to do all different things. Apple recently added the option to pair a HomePod Mini or a HomePod to be able to control the Apple TV. We're gonna see that happening more and more. Like for me as an iPhone user, I get the most integration into the Apple TV. But if you're an iPhone user who doesn't use AirPlay, Apple Fitness, Apple Arcade, or some of their other services, it may not make sense to spend the money. My mom is all Apple. She likes to upgrade her iPhone and all. But at home, she uses the Echoes and the Fire TV stick. I'd be wasting my time trying to convince her to do something different. I don't think she'd get the benefit of spending the extra money. Now, my recommendations, like I said, for most people, I just recommend a Fire TV stick, especially if you only want to stream from one of the major service providers. You're not interested in the smart home or getting into all the other nonsense. Great for the price. All the functionality you would need to get good content. If you take advantage of those Apple services like Arcade and Fitness, this could be a good match for you. If you're thinking about starting an Apple smart home, great place to start with it. If you have a bunch of Apple devices, you're gonna find that the content syncs across all of them in the TV app, which might add some value and worth the extra cost. I know it's easy to look at the price difference and just think, hey, I'll go with the cheaper one. I only need to watch Netflix. But just consider where you might want to go with your smart home. If you're just going to pop open the Disney Plus app, it's going to look great on both of these and you could save yourself a few bucks. Now, do you plan on picking up a Apple TV 4K or one of the Fire TV Stick 4K Maxes? Let us know in the comments section. Next, make sure to check out this video over here for some more great smart home information. I know I say that every video, but I mean it. It is good. I took my time. I made something good, so check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye.